The Saviour Fish by Mark Weston, published by Earth Books, and this is a story of a 2-year sojourn on the island of Ukerewe, which is part of an archipelago in the middle of Lake Victoria on the Tanzanian side. Lake Victoria is bordered by Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya, and it's a huge lake. And this is his story of acclimatising, getting to know the people and understanding their ways. So the author accompanies his wife Ebru, who is on a 2-year posting to teach. And they have a fairly small shack. There are a lot of mud huts around. There's hardly running water. So they have come from wherever they've come to something that is very basic. They are incomers, as it were, and therefore they have to try and win over the locals that, they're not there as a threat. Because obviously in historical times, there have been colonial times, people have come, they've taken, commodities. And so I guess there is a little bit of hostility, but they soon get themselves into the island life, and he starts to learn, appreciate, and it's not an easy life. It certainly made me appreciate that what we have in the West is a lot and what they have there is very little. So the communities there rely on fishing, and there is a little bit of trade, but it's negligible. And I guess there is quite a lot of theft, and there is also witchcraft. Christianity is very strong, there are other religions too, but it is a way of life that is formed by Christian teaching and by that sense of there is a spell out there, that there is a greater something that can actually destroy your life or enhance your life. And because they live at such a basic level, it really is part of the fabric of the culture. So fishing is very much part of the tradition, but it has come and gone. And in years gone past, there were tiny fish called cichlids, I think, and somebody introduced, bearing in mind that people need an income, the Nile perch, which is a much bigger fish, and it was hoped it would be sustainable. But of course, that upsets the biodiversity of the whole lake, and that is a huge issue. And I think Mark talks about that really well in the book, and obviously that's where the title comes from. I think I went to Tanzania several years ago, and at that point it was really difficult to actually find books that would evoke locale, that would take you into the lives of the locals, because even if you're travelling around in the main part of the country, you see what you see, but you can't get beyond that barrier. And I think what he does very nicely is take you into the lives of the locals. It's Spartan, it's difficult, but there is humanity there on many levels. They have very little access to medicine, and there is a lot of spirituality. So I think, it just gave me a bit of a window on culture that you can see everywhere in Tanzania. And so if you're heading that way, or it's quite a slim volume, if you just want to pick up a nicely written travel memoir of his time in the island, The Saviour Fish by Mark Weston is a slim volume that I think is quite worthwhile reading.